All right, welcome, new subscribers, Facebook, Instagram, social media. I am Mr. Mental Health. Today's topic. Oh, first of all, I do got to send a big shout out to my grandmother. Happy heavenly birthday. She would have been 94 today. She stood for a lot. She was a real staple for our family. Big Mama. You know, everybody know what Big Mama is, and my grandmother was Big Mama. She stood for everything. I think I made a real a dope, amazing post to what she represented. I call her Pearl, but she was definitely a pearl to our family, and a pearl means a lot. You know, wisdom, strength. It's a lot. So, it's a lot that goes with being a pearl, and she was an angel, in my opinion, on earth. So she's truly missed. Happy heavenly birthday. I love you, and rest in peace. Today's topic is being emotionally unavailable and developing emotional intelligence. And I will go back and forth to my notes because I'm a scatterbrain. I can talk when I get to talking, so I need to stay on task. So if you see me go back and forth, it's because I do have notes help me stay on task. So being emotionally unavailable. First and foremost, just from my situation, I was there before where I wasn't available in relationships from an emotional standpoint. I wasn't able to console, to comfort. I wasn't able to give anything as it pertains to emotions because I didn't know how. My mom wasn't around growing up, and I feel like that had a lot to do with being emotionally available, because if I'm not able to see what it looks like and then give it, then it just carries on in life, and before you know it, you're not dealing with it and you're not addressing it, and it becomes obsolete. Basically, it doesn't exist to you. So when you get in these relationships and y'all have situations where you have to talk and you got to communicate and you're just not there, you're not giving the partner the equal time to explain, and you brush it off, or you walk away, or you bring up your own issues, or I don't have time, and after a while the other person shuts down. And this is not just in relationships. I'm just talking about for me, but this is in all walks of life. You can have it with your kids, you can have it with family, with friends, and it carries on in life, and it builds up, and before you know it, like, you don't have anything to hold your head on as it pertains to anything with emotions, so, and it affects relationships. So some things, what is considered being emotionally unavailable is, you blame others in relationships, and not just, husband and wife, just relationships, period. You blame the other person, and it doesn't require that. It requires to listen. It requires agree to disagree, because we all are so different, and we all come from all different walks of life. And you're gonna hear me say that a lot in a lot of my videos, but it's true. And you have to respect where the other person is coming from. You have to respect what they're trusting you with, from a vulnerability standpoint, from a transparent standpoint. And I had to learn that. And I'm not perfect. I'm not about to ever sit on here and say I still don't have issues that I still don't need to address. But I work hard on being emotionally available, and it started, with my kids now. I get to practice with my kids. So down the line, when another relationship does present itself, that I'm not deficient in that department as far as being emotionally available. Another thing is, you tell the truth, but you don't change. You know what I mean? You sitting here saying that you're gonna do X, Y, and Z, and then you still doing the same thing, but you expecting different results. And it requires work. It requires you to. A lot of things really is looking in the mirror and not only saying that you're gonna change, but doing it, but staying consistent, holding yourself accountable. That's where it starts. You got to hold yourself accountable. But it's some things that they name. It's 6 tips, but they actually are pretty good though. One of them is take a hard look at the beliefs that you have about yourself and your relationship. You really got to What are your beliefs in this relationship? Make your partner needs and feelings equal to yours. How can we make everything equal? I know people always say, well, it ain't always equal, man. Relationships require equality, man. Just because like it's things that's gonna happen where the other person need to feel like you can relate to this situation, and you're not just so way above them to where you can't come down to where it's some equality there. What's another one? Stop with the secret life. And that's with everybody, man. Everybody, you go in a relationship and it's some stuff that you're not going to reveal, even, what happened in the past. And some stuff stay in the past, but are you living a secret life while you in your relationship? Is there something that, that needs to be put on the table that's affecting you from effectively communicating? And that needs to come out. So that's another thing. Another one is make time for your partner. How many times, and this is so hard though for everybody, because everybody working so hard. You got kids, you got sports, you have so many, variety of things that goes on a daily basis from the time you get up, from the time you go to bed, and you realize this stuff can go on so long, and y'all haven't even spent time with each other. So you have to make time for each other. It's hard, but and I think that's why a lot of people should always be in relationships with people who you could do some similar things with. So when y'all do that, that's what y'all needed in the moment. You know what I mean? Something that y'all could do together that was quick, blah, 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 but you have to make time for each other. Working on taking responsibility for your own emotions. You gotta take responsibility. A lot of times when we're asked to change anything we do in life, it requires us to take responsibility and accountability. And then you got to be consistent with doing it. And nothing is easy. Like when you're making changes, like this stuff is hard, man. From a consistent basis, like because you're used to doing something for 20 plus years sometimes. And now you asking me to change? Like that's hard to do. And commit to opening up. Right now, I'm completely an open book about my childhood, what happened to me, how I dealt with it, where I'm at now, where I'm trying to go. You have to commit to opening up. That's the transparency part that people are looking for when you in these type of situations. The committing to opening up. Like they want to know some stuff about you that some people ain't heard. That's affecting you. That's affecting the relationship. That's affecting how you deal with your kids. And I think that's very vital to being emotionally available. And then you got to practice self-awareness. Anything that you do, you got to, hey, this is what I'm doing. I need to change this. You become aware of it, make a change. You have to practice that. And like I said, anything that you do with mental health, or you have to practice it. It's not over. It's because we've been taught that seeing somebody, you're considered crazy. No, dealing with what you dealt with in life, that's what made you who you are, which is affecting how you communicate effectively, or how you being self-aware of situations. A lot of times you don't even know what they are. You can't recognize triggers until you actually figure out, like, oh, this is why X, Y, and Z is bothering me. You got to take baby steps towards vulnerability. It's hard, and I'm just comfortable with it, because I feel like nobody's in position to judge me, because everybody have their own. You got your own. Literally, I don't even know the word. You got your own stuff that you got to deal with. So you're not in position to judge anybody, And I think people miss that. Like, oh, you forgot that you did this, or you forgot, like, oh, you must have forgot, because you can't judge anybody. So you got to take baby steps. The whole crawl before you walk. That's the same thing. And then communicate open and honestly. You know what I mean? Like, people would rather you just be 100% honest about it, whether it's gonna hurt their feelings, whether it's gonna hurt your feelings, whether you're gonna make them feel small, big, whatever, whether you're gonna embarrass them, but you give them the option now to be able to move from there. And that's very key. Just be honest, and that's hard to do, because sometimes we feel like what we feel is the right thing to do in a situation not necessarily what the other person would have thought is the right thing to do in the situation. But it all once you become this, then now the areas that you struggle with, now it becomes emotional intelligence. And from an emotional intelligence standpoint, it's just the ability to understand, manage, and express one's emotions in ways, including having a healthy understanding about others' emotions. So once you have a understanding of this, and you are holding yourself accountable, you are making time, you are taking baby steps, you are practicing self-awareness. Now the other person feels that, and now they feel like they can come to you when they do have issues or things that arise. And from an emotional standpoint, they feel like they can trust you with this little box. You know what I mean? Now you're able to move in a different direction when you become emotional intelligent. And then I think something that's very key though, if you don't manage your emotions will eventually manage you. And I think we don't understand that, but that's very deep. Your emotions will eventually take over you because it becomes who you are. You do shut down. You do have a problem being vulnerable. You do have a problem opening up. You do have a problem accepting accountability and taking responsibility for your actions. You do. But when you become intelligent of this, then it's like you walking. You know what I mean? Like anything you do, you got to practice at it. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's take time because you're letting your guard down. And a lot of people, including myself, you are afraid of your feelings being hurt or somebody mishandling your heart, mishandling who you are. And that takes away from the transparent, the trust part. So people want to know that they can trust you with their emotions, and it's hard, but they want to know that. And then how do you really increase it? You just really avoid emotions, avoid defining emotions as a positive, negative. You got to be evasive, basically, and expansive. When you supporting these type of emotions. So yeah, this video, man. I know I spend more time on emotional unavailable, being emotionally unavailable, and switching over to emotional intelligence, and you can go deeper and deeper. But I just feel like it's hard to do, when you don't even trust yourself with your own emotions, and that's the missing. I think it's missing in not just marriage, not just in fiance, not just in boyfriend, girlfriend, not just in man, whatever. It's missing with your kids. It's missing on your job. And you don't have to just spill out what you got going on from an emotional standpoint. But when you're completely transparent, it don't leave a void for people to feel like X, Y, and Z. You allow them to see who you are regardless. Like, this is who LaRue is. He's gonna be this, that, and the other every day of the week. You consistent. And all of everything we pretty much do that ties from mental health, that ties from a lot of things, it starts as a child, man, and you don't even realize it until you at a point of like a breaking point, and you done had it up here. Like, I need to talk to somebody. I need to do this. I need to do that, because you like a walking time bomb. You can't bottle all these traumatic issues up and feel like you don't have to go see anybody. And I'm a big advocate of people going to see a therapist. I feel like you have to go talk to somebody. If you done dealt with trauma, poverty, it's a list, anxiety, depression, it's so much stuff. The spectrum is huge. And if you've dealt with this in the past and you starting to recognize it, then you need to address it. So yeah, emotional unavailable, being emotionally unavailable to develop an emotional intelligence. And it's I think it's missing out here in society, and especially from a man's standpoint. Men are taught to be strong and not to communicate on that level, keep your feelings bottled up. But women, are want to talk. They want to know what's going on with you, and we have to, from a man's perspective, have to be able to give them that if you want to take something to the next level. But it just starts with your own self. Everything starts with the self-awareness, in my opinion. So everybody enjoy. Please like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, I'm gonna keep the content coming. Thank you for checking out my video.